Someone asks you what you do for a living, and before you answer, there is a pause, maybe a half second, maybe a little bit longer, and in that pause, you're deciding what to say, whether to dress it up, whether to lead with something else first. I own a small business. Maybe I'm in the service industry, or I do exterior cleaning. Instead of just saying, I own a pressure washing company, or I'm a plumber, or I do HVAC, or I own a lawn care business. Now, if you've ever done that, if you have ever softened what you do before you say it out loud, then this video is for you, because that pause is costing you a lot more than just your pride. And stick around, because I'm going to tell you exactly what it's costing you. And at the end, I'm going to tell you how to get my brand new book absolutely free, where I go way deeper on this and a whole lot more. And I want to tell you something that I've really never talked about directly. I had been working in corporate America since graduating from the Citadel back in 1997. I was regional sales manager for a Fortune 50 company, white collar, business casual, the whole thing. And then one morning at the gym, a buddy of mine mentioned that he was moving and he had a small pressure washing business. It was a side gig that he needed to sell. Now, my mentor, a good friend, he was standing next to me. He looked right at me and he said, "You're gonna buy it." Now, I went ahead, I bought it, $24,000 home equity line I took out. I had zero experience in this industry, zero knowledge of the equipment, the chemicals, the process, absolutely none of it. Just had a pretty good sales and marketing background and a mentor who told me that I could figure it out. And I became the pressure washing guy in Savannah. Now, I leveraged everything that I knew about sales and marketing. My branding was on point. It was everywhere. I eventually had trucks all over the city. I was relentless. We were impossible to miss. Everybody would say, "I see your trucks everywhere." I was crushing it. But the crazy thing was, I was embarrassed, right? Our friends, my kids' friends' parents, they were professionals, doctors, lawyers, people with letters after their names. They had nice offices with multiple diplomas hanging on their walls. And they knew me as the guy that they called when they needed their driveway washed. And way back then, I wasn't really proud of that. Now, I remember being at school events or sporting events, and someone might ask what I did for a living. And I would always kind of default back to sales, right? That was my answer, sales. Maybe once in a while I'd say that I owned a local home service business, but I would almost never say, "Yeah, I own a pressure washing business." I would just say sales. Now, it wasn't a lie. I was still working as a regional sales manager for the big company, and I was crushing it for my corporate bosses, but I was creating systems, I was building teams, I was growing my own businesses while I was making millions of dollars for them every single year, which was one of the biggest motivators for me building my own businesses, but that's an entirely different story. But the point is, I wasn't proud of what I was building, the blue collar service business. I didn't think it was as illustrious as what everybody else was doing, right? Their careers. And at that point in my life, I actually cared what other people thought. And then one day, I ran the numbers and I realized that my little pressure washing business, the dirty, unglamorous, blue-collar pressure washing business, was generating more personal income for me than most of those doctors and most of those lawyers were taking home, and way more than my corporate job. And something shifted. And it's not because of the money, but because I finally understood something that I want to say directly to whoever is watching this right now. There is absolutely no shame in blue-collar work. Zero, none, not one drop. And what I call this is blue-collar guilt. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. It's the embarrassment some of us feel when someone asks what we do, the hesitation before we say the words. But here's the thing, and this is what I really want you to hear. Blue-collar guilt doesn't just hurt your ego, it hurts your business every single day in ways that most contractors never connect. it shows up when you put together a quote and you already know it's too high before you send it. So you drop it. Before the customer says a word, before they push back, before they even have a chance to say yes. You negotiated against yourself because you felt guilty charging that much for something that's just washing or just fixing their AC or just cutting their grass. It shows up when a customer pays by credit card and you eat the processing fee because you feel bad passing it along. Meanwhile, every restaurant, every grocery store, every business that customers spend money at is already charging them that fee. You're the only one that's absorbing it out of some kind of guilt. And it shows up when people in your life, sometimes it's your family, sometimes it's friends, question what you're doing, why you're working weekends, why you're investing in that truck wrap or in software or in training. And that doubt gets in your head and it starts to sound like maybe they're right. And then it shows up when maybe you're not going to invest in that CRM because you feel like your business isn't big enough yet, or you don't deserve one yet. Like the real software is for real companies. Meanwhile, the guys that are using it are booking more jobs, they're following up automatically, they're collecting payments before they leave the driveway, and they're building a customer database that is worth real money. The guilt of thinking small things are keeping you operating small, and it shows up when you listen to the haters, the ones who have never done anything, they have never built anything, but they always have an opinion on what you're doing and what you're building. All of it is the same thing. This is blue collar guilt, and it is the silent tax of your business that most contractors pay every single day without even knowing it. Let me tell you what you actually are. You show up. You do skilled work. You carry insurance. You stand behind your results. You solve real problems for real people who cannot or will not do it themselves. When an HVAC system fails in July and a family is sitting in a house that's 95 degrees, you're the one that shows up. When there's water where there shouldn't be water and someone is panicking, you're the one who fixes it. When a business owner needs their building to look professional before a major client visit, you're the one that makes it look good. This is not just anything. This is a skilled trade, a real business, a genuine service that people need, and these are things that people are willing to pay for. If you have the confidence to charge what it's worth, that is the thing that I struggled with for so long. And the contractor who walks into a quote confident, certain of the value that they're providing and not apologizing before the customer even reacts, that's the guy that closes more jobs at the higher margins every single time. Not because they're a better salesperson, but because they believe in what they're worth. Pride in what you do, it is not arrogance. It is the foundation of everything. Your pricing, your sales conversations, your ability to hire, to grow, to build something that actually lasts, all of it sits on whether you actually believe what you're doing is worth something. And it is. I promise you that it is. I've been in this industry for over 25 years. I just finished writing a book. It's called Built to Run. And blue collar guilt runs through the entire thing, not just as a concept, but as a root cause. Behind the pricing chapter, the sales chapter, the mindset chapter, it's the thing underneath the thing for most of the problems that we as contractors, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we deal with. The book is free. There is no catch. You can download it at Amazon. There's a whole section right at the front about exactly why I just talked to you about this. And then it comes back throughout the book. Every time blue collar guilt shows up in a different form, in your pricing, in your sales, all of it. In the way that you think about hiring, growing, charging what you're worth. And if you want the software that eliminates half the administrative headaches that comes with running a service business, if you're in the trades, whatever it is, obviously I'm going to tell you about QuoteIQ. I co-founded it specifically for contractors because every tool that I tried was built by somebody who had never run a crew. You can try it for free at myquoteiq.com. And if any of what I said in this video landed with you, I'd love for you to check out both the book, it's free, and check out myquoteiq.com. Anyway, don't let blue collar guilt limit you. Doesn't matter if you've made your first $100 or your first million. It doesn't matter if your truck is dirty or your hands are rough or your business card says something unglamorous. You built something, you serve people, you show up when you say you are going to show up. Say it loud next time someone asks you what you do. I own a pressure washing business. I own a landscape business. I am a plumber. I am an electrician. I run a lawn care company. That is it. My name is Mike Vidan, and I hope you say it like you mean it, because you should, and I'm out.